Okay, my bad. I'll work on that. All right. We're ready?
You did great. It's going to be more spirited.
I'd like to call the regular meeting to order. The time now is 7:03 on May 1st. Requirements of the Sunshine Law have been met. Meeting was advertised in the Burlington County Times on January 5th of 2018. Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Can you please join me in a moment of silence? Thank you. Roll call.
Committeeman Henley.
Present.
Committeewoman Hines. Here. Committeeman Lopez.
Here.
Committeewoman Smith-Hartman. Mayor Wisniewski.
Present. Approval of the May 1st, 2018 agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Henley.
Yes.
Hines. Yes. Lopez.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
Yes. Approval of the regular meeting minutes and the workshop minutes on April 17th, 2018.
Moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Henley.
Yes.
Hines. Yes. Lopez.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
Yes. Scheduled appointments, there are none. At this time, I will open the meeting to public comment on agenda items. We will have a moment to comment on the budget, just so that you know, if you have any budget-related comments, you can save that for that. Now,
Excuse me if I'm talking out of order, but I want to talk about the resolution 7718, private sale, surplus public works. When you say private sale, so is that not going to be advertised, or is that advertised? How does that work?
a private sale would not be advertised.
So how do these things get sold?
Well, just for that resolution will actually be tabled tonight, so it will not, we will not see that through.
Okay.
But a private sale would mean a non-advertised private sale.
So it wouldn't be sold to the general public? The vehicles, whatever they are, would not be sold to the general public?
It could be the general public. It could be the general public.
How would they be notified that this is going on?
Typically, what we do is we would reach out to other municipalities and stuff like that. So a private sale usually would be something like that, where another municipality that can possibly use our vehicles or equipment.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else for a comment on agenda items?
Same resolution 77-18. Why is that open up to the public in lieu of a private sale?
Again, some of these items have just been dilapidated and beat, so it's not, there would be a cost associated with possibly putting things on auction and stuff like that. So again, at this time, that will, we will not see this resolution through tonight.
Would it be possible for the township just to have something like, in the parking lot, and just have that as kind of deal, those types of things?
That is a possibility. That is a possibility.
The school board, they had some snow blows or whatever they were using, and they got rid of it, and they sold it to,
It is possible. Any other comment for agenda items? With no other comments, close to the public. Old business, there is none. New business, there is none. Ordinances, there are none. Resolution 75-18, payment of vouchers. This resolution approves the payment of bills through April 27th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Henley.
Yes.
Hines. Yes. Lopez.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
Yes. Resolution 76-18, cancel outstanding checks. This resolution approves the cancellation of outstanding checks that have not been cashed from the municipal court checking account.
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Henley.
Yes.
Hines. Yes. Lopez.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
Yes. Resolution 77-18, the private sale of surplus public works and WTES vehicles and equipment. This resolution authorizes the sale of vehicles and equipment no longer needed for public service.
A motion that we table this item?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Henley.
Yes.
Hines. Yes. Lopez.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
Yes. Resolution 78-18. This authorization to read the 2018 budget by title only. This resolution authorizes the budget to be read by title only rather than line by line.
Motion?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Henley.
Yes.
Hines. Yes. Lopez.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
Yes. Resolution 79-18, local examination of budget. This resolution asserts that all conditions have been met to allow the township to locally examine its budget as authorized by the New Jersey Division of Local Government Services.
Motion? Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Henley.
Yes.
Hines. Yes. Lopez.
Yes.
Smith Hartman. Oh, sorry, Wisniewski.
Yes. At this time, I will open we will begin the public hearing for the 2018 municipal budget. I will read a brief overview. If anyone has any questions, save them for the end, and I will open it up to the public for any questions. This year's 2018 budget, the total budget for 2018 is $11,161,248. This is $268,837 more than last year's final budget. We deferred $400,000 in local school tax, utilizing $333,000 of surplus generated to 2018 to support the budget. We utilized $218,668.03 of available bank tax levy cap. This amount is banked from previous years and permits us to increase the budget over the 2% cap. The average residential assessment is at $240,000, a slight decrease from 2017, and a slight decrease from 2016. The tax rate is up 0.049 to 0.612 it is up 0.049 to from 0.563 up to 0.612. There will be a 4.9 cent increase where each penny is equal to $115,000 and $316. The average assessed home at $240,000 will see a slight increase of $118.81, which is roughly $10 a month. The tax ratables this year, one of the big reasons why there's a 4.9% increase is the tax rateables decreased by $5.6 million, which is contributed to the Benjamin Banneker School being sold. It was assessed at $5.6 million. There was a $2 million land value and a $3.6 million improved value. When that property ceased being used by the Friends Academy, it lost its tax exempt status. It became a school again. It became tax exempt, and our tax rateables were decreased. The reason why our budget is very tight this year, the revenues realized in 2017 were lower than anticipated. The court fines were a lot less. They were about $105,000 less in 2017 than 2016. The construction and UCC permits were less. They were roughly $370,000 less than 2016. A big part of that was because of the Camuto warehouse was being built and inspected, and our tax collection rate was lower. It went down about 1% of taxes collected from about 98.7 to 97.7. The reason why our appropriations are higher, and some of these are not in our control, but the police and fire pension costs were increased $155,710, excuse me. The increase in that figure is approximately 1.36 cents of the 4.9. The FEMA reimbursement for the SAFER grant expired in 2017. So the West Hampton Township received about $188,000 in 2017, which we no longer get, and we are responsible for making that payment, and that is almost, about 1.5 cent increase right there. The trash removal increase went up just under $18,000. It is out to bid in June, I believe, June of this year. Again, utilities, just the bills alone went up $40,000, and Social Security costs were expected to increase about $20,000. There were also other things, the health care, the pension payments, all that, fire hydrant service, fuel insurance. A lot of those things were outside of our control that must be paid. The highlights of the 2018 budget, the capital budget of $791,578, about just under $40,000 of that is financed in this 2018 budget as a down payment. Will be used for implementing software system for public works, construction, admin, permits, fire code, with a citizen portal to report property maintenance issues and pay for permits and licenses online with credit cards, with less forms, and you won't have to come up here to do that, and it should make the township run a little more effectively, eliminating that. We implemented the roadway maintenance program this year. We're replacing one vehicle. We have a computer server that the West Hampton Police Department needs. They're also getting new weapons. I believe their weapons are 8 years old, 9 years old. We are purchasing a automotive lift that is, I believe, is twice the weight. I think it's from a 9,000 to a 18,000 pound lift. We are starting to implement some security measures at the municipal building. We need to secure the building a little bit better. There's a ton of keys out there floating, so we're going to make sure that we can at least, tighten down some of the doors, access to certain areas. It is a lot cheaper than the way that we found out to do it is a lot cheaper than spending, maybe 3 times the amount of replacing doors and implementing other safety things. We also started a mental health wellness program for first responders. We are reserving some funds for tax appeals, which went unfunded in 2017. We are installing baseball safety nets at the sports complex, and we are also instituting a hiring freeze at this time, just to, help alleviate the budget. The game plan for 2018 is to finalize and monitor a township 5-year plan. We are still going to continue to cut costs by examining and consolidating contracts everywhere we can. We're going to try to save money, improve recreation registration processes, streamline that, make it a little easier and more effective, research and implement new revenue streams. We're always looking into having developers come in. Anything that we can do to generate more revenue is a big plus. We'd like to pursue additional tax ratables with smart development, improved revenue tracking, and review and modified ordinances for efficacy, which is maybe tweak some older, outdated ordinances that can be modified to benefit the township. That is a brief overview, and at this time I'll open it up to the public for comment. Ms. Berkeley?
Couple of things on the budget summary.
I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
Berkeley,
No, I know that. What we were going to do is, we are going to give everyone 3 minutes, and there won't be a lot of back and
that's
forth.
what I'm running through.
There we go.
And when I finish, you can answer.
And go.
So don't take my time. On my tax bill, it says that my tax rate currently is .562, not .563. So that means your increase is 5 cents, not 4.9 cents. And 5 cents out of .562 is an 8.89679% increase, almost a 9% increase in taxes. I find that hard to swallow. The school, did you actually really collect taxes when it stopped being the Friends School till now? Because we never had taxes on that, so it wasn't like for years and years and years we were getting that taxes. It was almost like a nice little gift for a year. So I don't see that something that you can really count on, so it's not long term. I had a question about installing baseball safety nets. I was always told that recreation doesn't take anything from our budget. That recreation, basically except the 4 cents we pay for the, whatever that recreation thing is, and so now we're starting to pay for recreation from our budget.
Coming out of the open space budget, which is a page in the document that we give the state.
Okay.
It's not the budget, it's not your money, it's not your
still
money.
my taxes.
Well, if you,
Okay. 3 minutes. Okay. I believe we bought a lift for the school a couple of years ago. So I don't understand why another lift right now is really that important. I remember sitting here buying a lift for the school. I don't know what happened to it. The other thing, and you and I have talked about this, in other towns, they don't collect trash for condos and apartments. It's considered a business, and you don't have taxpayers pay to collect trash from businesses. I don't know why we're paying for condos and apartments. That should come out of their condo fee and their rent. And I think you could save a bunch of money if you check with other townships. I know when I lived in Allison Apartments, we were told the rent goes up because the trash fee was going up. So maybe we've just kind of been going along not realizing that we don't really have to pay that amount. But I am, just when I look at all this, a lot of nice stuff, but is it really all necessary in the first year to give me almost a 9% tax increase? And you know, it's nice to say that the average person, but not everyone here is an average taxpayer. So please, I would love to see some of these be put on hold for another year. And it is almost a 9% tax increase.
Thank you, Nancy. Any other public comment on the 2018 budget?
From members tonight, summary, states incurring $400,000 in local school tax. I guess I understood that when we pay our taxes, a portion of taxes goes to the schools. So are you saying that the money that that was taken out, we paid the property taxes, goes to schools, is now going to be withheld from the schools? Is that how it is?
We can address that after the public comment is over.
Okay. I guess the other comment I have is regarding the secret grant and expiring in 2017. I'm not sure how that works when we agreed to these grants, but I'm curious, are we on the hook? We definitely, after that grant's over, that we have to keep the people on board. Not being mean, but if we do have that option, up front, when we're bringing people on board with these grants, to say, look, I understand it's maybe for 2 or 3 year period. There's no guarantees that this position will be here, at the end of that grant, because the township has to pay, for your salaries and so forth. So I'm just curious how that works. That's all I have. And then what Nancy said, and first what you said is true. Is it really equating to a 9% increase in taxes? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for comment on the 2018 budget? We'll close for the 2018 budget. At this time, Resolution 80-18. This resolution approves the adoption of the municipal budget. The total budget for 2018 is in the amount of $11,161,248, which reflects a local purpose tax rate of 0.612. This is an increase of 0.049, which is a $118.81 increase per year for the average assessed residence for the year. What say you? Do I have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Not a discussion, just probably a friendly reminder. We had discussed this already and privately, and I've discussed this in great detail with the mayor. I wanted to take this opportunity to listen to residents' concerns, ideas. I'm still not final where I'm at with regards to the budget, so I'm going to be voting with an abstention tonight, really for 2 reasons. The first reason, there's another reason that I'm just not ready to disclose. But I do understand the tough decisions that the committee is faced with this year, so that's why it's not a no. It's just an abstention. I want to give this a little more time. So I just wanted to remind the mayor and my committee colleagues that it's nothing negative. It's just an abstention.
Guy, any comments?
I do. Sitting in this seat is not the easiest seat in the world. There are a lot of different moving parts that come with the budget, where I can honestly say from, everyone that's sat up here, we probably met at least 10 times. We talked with department heads. We, of course, didn't give everything that was asked for, and we tried to, minimize as much as we can to have the township work, operatively, so to speak, and to try to save the residents as much money as possible. One thing that I don't want anyone in here to forget is that everyone who sits up here is a resident as well. So we're not putting anything on you that we're not putting on ourselves. But at the same time, some of these things that, we may talk about foregoing, they're never an issue until an individual needs them. They're never, getting another police card is never an issue until you need assistance with a certain police card. Getting some of these softwares and doing some of these things is not just, to make life easier. It's because, we probably have a little bit of catching up to do. It's something that I've kind of figured out by sitting up here and seeing some of the things that are changing that, we have to be a part of, and that we really don't have a choice at some of these things. I can tell you, for one, and I can give my word, that we as a group have met a lot. And we weren't dealt the best hand, but we did the best that we could do. Thank you.
Just some brief comments. So Mr. Henley and I were sworn in January 2nd, and immediately we started the budget process. Within a few weeks, we were told that there was a significant deficit in the prior budget, significant, which already had us starting so far behind the 8 ball. We had approximately between 8 and 10 budget meetings. They were open to the public, no public attendance. I had perfect attendance at every single one of those meetings. We approached the budget from many different perspectives, trying to figure out what was the best approach. Do you start with cutting everything, and so that you still may have a slight increase because of the poor planning in the past? Or do we you're going to get an increase, and do we try to build that at least we can move West Hampton forward? Because it's very hard for us to sit here and tell you we're going to charge you the same amount, but we're going to give you less. More problematic is say we're going to raise them a little bit and still give you less. So we opened the budget process to the department heads. We consistently told them no, told them to come back with a different approach, and really try to limit the impact on the residents, that all of us will see the increase as well. So I do feel that we really tried to take a diligent approach. We had not one member of the public ever came to one of those advertised hearings, which is, it is disheartening that now it is before you for your first glance and you say, what did you guys do? You did no planning. I can tell you that significant planning and approach in brainstorming and trying to limit the impact was done. And I understand, Ms. Berkeley, that not everyone is the average assessed resident, but it is somewhat of a modest increase, $10 a month. I understand that is still, it's going to impact the bottom line of many families' budgets. But this budget is a modest increase and still moves West Hampton forward. It is still giving more to this town than telling you your taxes are going up a little bit and we're going to give you less. That's all I want to say.
Thank you. Well, first I'd like to at least address the residents. Mr. Mulbauer, when we defer taxes, we still are going to make those payments. We just are holding on to the money just a little bit longer, and it just kind of gives us an opportunity to pay more bills, and at the end of the day, we are not paying the school. The SAFER grant, you are correct. Like I said, there was $188,000, roughly 1.63 cents. Had we laid all 3 firefighters off, then the taxes would be down. We feel that our fire department needs them employees. It was a tough situation that we had to weigh. But you're right. If we wanted to, we could, slash staff and services in order to get that number way down. We just didn't feel that was something that the township wanted to do at this time. We felt that we needed them. What was I going to say? Ms. Berkeley, you had stated that we had lost the revenue that we had got once they became non-exempt. We did get the tax revenue that year, and it was just a gift for 1 year. What most residents don't realize is 2 years ago there was a 0% increase in taxes. Last year we should have raised taxes. They should have went up, and we felt that our belt was already tight, and we cinched it up a little bit more. And we held our guts in. This year, we couldn't do it. We started at I think it was about 9 cents that we needed to cut if everything stayed the same. So we made everything that we could do in our power to cut it down. And without laying people off, and without the SAFER grant for the firefighters, and without the pension and health benefits costs that went up, there's only a 2.2 cent increase that is kind of a township that we had really a lot of control of. So I do understand your concern, but well, again, even though this isn't public comment, I will still address that. We're talking about an $11 million budget, and the lift is $18,000, which we only pay 5% of, which I think comes out to, I don't know, $360 towards the capital down payment. So that's going to be part of the capital plan. So again,
If I can just remind you one quick thing. This particular lift that's being purchased, there's a specific reason. The
Yeah.
township owns a heavier,
oh,
bigger
no,
truck.
so, sorry, thank you. So again, we are talking about the $18,000, is such a small, minute portion, especially when we had a mechanic retire and we were interested in filling the position, which we instituted a hiring freeze. The vac trucks and some of the other equipment weighs more than the 9-ton lift we have. So being that we aren't hiring a new employee, we felt that this lift would be something that one person could work on puts them in a safer environment while we save money not hiring somebody. So we went and we did beat our heads against the wall. We asked a lot of all of our department heads. Still, even the condo trash fee, that's a great idea. It's something for us to look into because we're always trying to save money. But this increase is partly due to the fact that we haven't had an increase in 2 years. There's been zero decrease in services offered, and for the most part, any staff that was retired or left on their own was not replaced. So I think with that being said, we feel this is a great package, and we do. I know me personally, and I believe my colleagues probably agree. I feel this is the best thing that we could come up with. Yeah. I have the condo fees of the baseball safety nets.
No, my tax bill says.
Oh, that could possibly be a typo. I think we'd have to look into that. That's
To do with the decimal points.
yeah,
that were
possibly the way it was rounded up. And I'm sorry,
I think it has to do with the decimal points that were rounded up. Like I was always towards .563, and it came out in the tax bill's .562.
yeah. And
Right,
again,
it might be by .562. Isn't that from last year?
I can assure you that we are not.
They said 4.9, so that would not be right.
Right,
Isn't that
we're
last-
not carrying the decimals 5 digits, so,
Isn't that
Yeah,
last year's
I-
bill?
about that.
Yeah, I think that's just clerical, and I don't even want to call it an error, but I'm sure that in the overall budget, the numbers do make sense. And other than that, I feel that, we put a good budget together for what we have. And with no other discussion, I guess we will go to a roll call.
Henley,
Yes.
Hines,
Yes.
Lopez,
Abstain?
Wisniewski.
Yes. That is it for the resolutions. Correspondences, there are none. Committee liaison reports. Does anyone have anything to report on their department?
Just give the residents an update on Public Works real quick. Bear with me just a second. I wrote it down here. Sorry, bear with me just a moment. The township is starting its brush collection this week. So those residents that still have brush, now is the time to make sure you get that out on front. We always ask residents not to place it on the street itself to cause a blockage for traffic, but to keep it right on the sidewalk. We are also still cleaning up parks and playgrounds from the winter as time and manpower allows. So as you all know, there's been a lot of tree damage this winter. So please give the men of the department a little bit more time as they get around town cleaning up and picking up all of that. So that's all the updates I have for Public Works.
Do you have anything to report?
No, yeah, well, I mean tomorrow, and then maybe next week.
Just with regard to Board of Ed. The Board of Ed meeting is Monday, May 7th at 7 p.m. They will be presenting their budget. Additionally, there's, lots going on over the school board, lots of changes going over at the schools, so if you, have any interest, you certainly do want to attend. I don't believe they are streamed online, so you do need to appear. That's Monday. The Historic Preservation Committee, we met last Wednesday. Wawa appeared for approval with regard to their application with their new facility they're seeking on Rancocas Road. I know that's coming before the Land Development Board. I'm not the liaison, but I'm sure that someone will want to share that date so residents know when they can come out to be heard. Emergency Services, I do want to thank them. Last Friday night was the West Hampton PTA basket bingo, and the fire department donated a ride to school for one of the young men or women at Holly Hills. It was a big ticket item, so one lucky child is going to get to drive to school on a fire truck. So thank you for that creativity. And I think that's it for my committees.
Thank you. The only thing that I'd like to add from our police department is we have an officer who's been out of work since February due to an injury. They will be back to light duty next week, so that is a plus. And we are hoping for a safe return of Patrolman Ent, who was activated with the U.S. Air National Guard to an undisclosed location overseas for the next 60 days, correct?
Mhm.
And, let's pray for her and hope she comes back. And other than that, it's status quo. Dates to remember: May 11th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Providence House Open House, Rancocas Road westbound, just prior to Springside Road. May 15th, 10:30 a.m., Burlington County Police Memorial, Burlington County Emergency Services Building by the Animal Shelter. May 30th, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., there's a CPR class at the West Hampton Township Emergency Services Building, 780 Wood Lane Road. See the website and social media for more details and to register. At this time, I'll open the floor to the public for comment. Mr. Mombauer.
As far as the FEMA, the safer grants, how long do they run? Are they 2 or 3 year grants?
I believe 3 years. 3 years implemented over time.
3 years.
So that being said, I imagine when we...
3 years.
When we agree to these grants to bring people on board, it's with the intent that we're going to keep them beyond the grant years, correct?
That's the intent.
Okay, so that being said, you can't really pass, but moving forward, when we're faced with these situations, maybe we need to think of that, knowing that that 4th year, we may have 3 bodies, 3 individuals, at X, whatever salary is per person, and what's that, for a budget plan. Okay? I'm not advocating cutting people. All I'm saying is that being upfront with individuals and saying, hey, just let me know this money's been spent. It's not our fault, but if we go up our intentions to do it, then let's plan for it. Utilities going up $40,000. Have we thought about anything like solar? Is that what the course that we increase our solar capacity in the township?
No, I believe that's something that we could possibly look into, but that we have not so far.
And finally, the signs. Kind of fell over the grade a little bit that we got up here. We mentioned things about the budget. You said that you've been planning it for, sometime in January. And nobody showed up. Well, unfortunately, the meetings used to be Mondays. As the mayor will test, as I spoke to him, I work a lot of Tuesday evenings. This happens to be the first night I can actually get out. So, and I may not be weak. We should keep that in mind.
I do apologize. And the meetings were not on Tuesday nights. They were Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I understand people's...
I also work Monday nights. So, I just want to throw that out there. Let's see. That big thing, that $5.6 million, mean, that's big, right there. You know, trying to get ratables, I mean, I don't know what we're good. You know, I don't know what the plan is, you know, what the first plan is for that, to develop the space to bring in business or whatever, but, you know, that was a big contributor to the increase, I understand that, and I do have empathy for, you know, what you do up here. I know it's not easy, like, Commissioner Henry has said, you know, a lot of times you don't realize what you're taking on, you know, when you get elected, and then you get behind the curtain, and you see what the situation really is. So, I do have empathy, I want to put that out there, so.
If I could even say, and by all means, I get it. But what I do feel is that we have a lot of intelligent people here, and I think that things will be, I look forward to the future. I would say that. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mulbauer. Ms. Berkeley?
First, add to the list of events this Saturday is the Rainbow Firehouse Community Center at dinner. We invite you all to come out. It's wonderful.
What is the date and time?
Friday.
The 6th?
Ms. Berkeley?
First I'm hearing about it.
Ms. Berkeley, if you want to add a date, you're going to have to know the date.
May 6th.
May 6th,
May 6th.
Six or fifth?
The 5th is Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
May 6th.
You send me an email.
Saturday.
If you send us something, even if it's on Facebook, we will put it out and try to spread the word for you.
May 5th.
May
Send me an
5th.
email, I'll check Facebook.
May
It's a
5th.
good dinner.
Evening.
Okay.
Or call me.
I'm not sure if I need to make a comment. I need to ask, did you get my email and take any action on that?
I've not been able to. I've had a lot of reports due, and we
Are
had
you
a tough
aware
week
that it
last
was-
week. I thank you for the information. I haven't had a chance to talk to the council yet.
Okay, well, then I'm going to make this aware to them, because you're not sure whether it's whatever. In the last minutes of the Timbuktu meeting, they said that they were going to have conference calls instead of meeting, and that they would do it as they need to, and I believe that's against the Sunshine Law, because you cannot have a conference call with everybody on the committee and email them in the morning saying, it's Thursday, it's our meeting night at 6:30, dial this phone number and come into a conference call.
It's not a public meeting.
I think you either have to have a meeting, or you have to have it published, and you have to have a phone number available to everyone so they can listen in on the meeting. So I think that it's probably because they've had this committee for a long time, but now it's an official committee, and they have to go by the official rules of the
We
town.
don't have a whole meeting at a conference call.
Thank you. We will work to address that. Thank you. Anyone else for comment?
I don't have.
Mr. DePaul?
Regarding the things that were designated flood zone area, a neighbor of mine on 59 Fell Hollow got his information in FEMA about the equipment. He's gotten back a response saying that his home is not in the flood zone.
Good.
Yeah. My information is in there, FEMA's responded back, and they're looking at it, and I'm hoping that we'll have the same thing, so.
Good.
I don't know if anybody else has come forward with that information, but it looks pretty good.
Thank you for
I wish you well.
Thank you for the update.
Good evening.
Three quick points. You all remember we had the sidewalk that we paid for Project Freedom, and I noticed that a couple of sections of the sidewalk here have been excavated. Do we know what that was about? And I guess where I'm going with that is we've already paid for it once. I don't want to have to pay for it twice. So I'd like to know, or maybe you can find out, and get back to whomever, if it was excavated, and properly excavated, what happened to it, who's going to ultimately be responsible for returning it back to what we originally had contracted for?
I don't think that the committee is prepared to answer that, but that's something that we can definitely look into.
Public comment.
What's that?
Comment.
Oh, now we want to get straight. Carry on.
Proposed date to remember, this is the Willingboro NUA meeting. It is May the 16th at 4:30 p.m. I was hoping to see that they would liaison with you to actually have it posted up on our calendar. I think I had mentioned this maybe back in February when I was here, sort of hoping that someone up there would take a portfolio of interacting with them, and I would just ask if you were comfortable with commenting, how's that going so far?
That is something that we could follow up with after the meeting.
Because I noticed on their website, they post no agenda, there are no minutes posted since January. I realize that they had to have a meeting and approve the minutes, but it's very hard for us to be, informed of what's going on with that organization if they're not transparent and making that information available. So we can have a fact-based conversation with you, our representatives, who are going to represent us in front of that organization when it's appropriate. So it's frustrating, right? The third thing was gas tax from last year. Governor Christie signs into effect. I think we have mixed feelings on that. But in any event, I ran into Mrs. Weston in the post office in the village, and we talked very briefly about road repair. And I remember that I was reading on NewJersey.com back on February 23rd, there was an article that talked about, quote, where the gas tax money was going to, and it cited all 21 counties where there was funds. Burlington County is mentioned, and there's going to be over $9 million of that gas tax money coming into Burlington County. Quote, 37 projects in the county that received grants. And it goes on to then say, including 4 separate $255,000 grants for road improvements in Delanco, Maple Shade, Mount Laurel, and West Hampton Township. Do you know anything about this grant for West Hampton Township?
Yes, and I can address that in the committee comment.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for comment in the public? None? I don't think we could do doubles, but I'll be here after the meeting and we can discuss anything you want, Mr. Mumbauer. Close to the public for open comment. Comments from the Township Committee members. Sandy, you got anything for us?
I'd like to thank all the residents, the department heads, of course, and of course everyone on the committee. One, I always welcome feedback and everything, that you guys give us. Because again, we're still residents just like everyone else, and we appreciate, any feedback or any ideas that you should have. And I think that's, another part of the welcoming part of the committee, where John, has humbly said sometimes, well, I'm not sure, but let me find out, or that's a pretty good idea, so let's investigate that. I think it's important to know that we are one West Hampton, and we all have, pretty much the same vision of where we want to go. And I think that that's something that's extremely positive, and it makes a great working relationship between the committee and the residents of West Hampton, as well as the department heads. So, again, thank you.
That's something that anybody else wants? I'll be really brief, and Maureen's not here, but somebody can check the clock. Regarding just closing my comments on the whole budget discussion, I know the comment was made, the township hasn't had tax increases in the last 2 years and so on. Just my personal philosophy on raising tax increases to residents. I understand the burden that was made crystal clear by some of the residents regarding the tax, whether it's $5, $10, $15, $20. I totally get that, and my thought is always that if there was more financial planning in this township, I think it's really good that we acknowledge the need for financial planning in this town hall, and I'll say it publicly. I'm glad that our administrative staff agrees as well, that what has happened or has transpired in the years prior regarding financial planning or the lack thereof needs to be remedied. And that's the reason why I haven't voted for a tax increase. Part of the reason why I'm still listening to residents and letting this process play itself out. I think we need to acknowledge that a whole, as Linda rightfully stated, a whole chunk of money that was forecasted to come did not come. And I tell you all publicly that we did not know this till March of this year, or till right in the beginning of the budget negotiating process. If we had known this last year, we could have amended in an emergency fashion last year's budget and made some drastic changes or made some modifications to that budget at least July of last year or even August. That wasn't the case. Hindsight's 2020, but this is something that I felt that we needed to let you all know publicly so that you can hold us accountable and make sure that everybody that's on this dais fixes that. That should not go on anymore, and we've had those conversations with the team, and I hope that does not continue to happen moving forward. So that's just one aspect that I wanted you all to know about the budget. Secondly, I just wanted to let you all know I think I've been loud about many things. And one thing that I would like to think of myself is that if I get it wrong or I stated it wrong, that I've come back and just as loudly corrected myself. We may have some disagreements on this dais. I'd like to let you all know, despite the rhetoric that you probably heard last year or the year before and what my fears were or Maureen's fears were, I'd like to report to you all that I find ourselves agreeing much more often than we disagree on this dais. Despite any disagreements that have arisen, and they're not many, I'm reporting it tonight, they're not many, we've worked in a very, very professional manner, and I'd even go beyond professional. I say so far everybody on this dais has been very neighborly, and I attest that despite my disagreements or our disagreements on this particular budget as well, I can attest that everybody has put a lot of thought, a lot of heart and consideration for their neighbors in the deliberation and negotiating or considering of this budget. So I just want to commend my colleagues. It's been positive to date, and I hope it continues, and I'm sure it will continue that way. So I just wanted to report that to you all. So I'll be quiet now. Thank you, and have a good night.
Just thanking everyone for coming out. Today starts a new month, May, which is Brain Cancer Awareness Month. It's a cause that's near and dear to my heart, so May is Brain Cancer Awareness Month.
Thank you. I'd too also like to thank everybody for coming out. The more input we get, the better. We like hearing your concerns. The department heads, keep up the good work. Mr. Barbarian, I knew that you had asked about the $255,000. We were made aware of that we were receiving that, and that is also lumped into the, I'm struggling to find the number. I think it was about $592,000 or that we are dedicating. It's in the capital. I'm sorry. What do we have? $595,000 that we are going to put right back into our road system, our road maintenance plan. So we were aware that we actually applied for it. I believe, to my knowledge, for the past couple of years, we haven't really received any funding. So that $255 is definitely welcome. Thank you, Abe, for the kind words. And other than that, thank you for coming out. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Close. Thank you.